Hello everybody, this is Nick speaking, and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines After Dark. It's gonna be a little bit different of an episode because I kinda was, recording this and I didn't realize that I was not recording my mic at all. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a post-commentary. Right now I'm apparently deleting some power lines I no longer needed. And if I remember right, when I was talking about this, I was kind of complaining about the trash issue that we were having, and I found a little bit of a way to solve that by, basically I decided to take the, trash and stick it over here on the other side of the highway, so we kind of lowered down and kind of made our little connection on the other side, so we're back on the ground over here now rather than just a raised bridge at the end. And I just took a little gravel road and connected it way out there and put down a few trash pickup areas, so that way we had kind of some trash service for the downtown, at least for the meantime, because yeah, the trash pickup in the city really has been kind of an issue for a while now. Yeah, I mean, obviously from here it's looking better because we do have the incinerator now that we put in last episode, but yeah, not really too much I can do about the trash pickup other than trying to put in more landfills and more incinerators. And of course, this episode too, I was also kind of having some money issues, because yeah, there's been some of those going on for a while now, and I think they're talking about, hey, let's we're gonna save up some money for an incinerator, which doesn't even happen this episode, because other things were deemed more important, like building the downtown that we started last episode. I filled in a whole bunch of this. I remember talking, so first road, we're kind of just gonna expand the one down here that kind of dead ends here with the one way, and we expand that out to the main road right away. I kind of do it in a little bit of an interesting way. I kind of use the area where the path is here to kind of define, hey, this is where I want this kind of road to go through, so I just kind of do that and reverse it out. Just kind of create a second intersection right there, which I'm now starting to think might not have been the best idea, because yeah, now that I think about that, that's going to cause a lot of traffic there, isn't it? Ooh. Good thing I haven't actually recorded the next episode yet, so I can do something about that right away next time. Ooh. See, thoughts. Maybe not very good ones, but they are thoughts. And here I'm trying to make this bottom area look a little bit larger, so I'm going in and trying to get a path connected there, I think, yeah. That way I've got kind of a little bit of a path area down at the bottom that joins up to the road, and then I can still zone around it a little bit easier than what I had before. And if I remember right now, I just do a whole bunch of road line down here, so, not very exciting stuff, but, you know, essentials. Gotta have roads. Always gotta have roads in a city. Yeah, I mean, there is that little bit of green space back there that I was trying to get, like, another block in, but it's like, well, by the time we put it in, there's not really gonna be much room for buildings there anyways, so I decided it wasn't worth it, and just proceeded to go ahead and zone a little bit of stuff that was left along there, and let, you know, we can have a little bit of green space in the downtown area. You know, and the fact it's right along the highway, too, I mean, it's not going to be a very desirable land anyways, so it's probably fine. Probably, I use for some reason, okay. But yeah, just, you know, lots of little zoning things, and actually figuring out where to put streets and all that kind of stuff. I remember thinking, okay, hey, and I couldn't connect in that direction, so end up, I think, starting with the underpass here. Which, surprisingly, now that I'm noticing, that road over there, that's going two different directions. How'd I do that? This is interesting, watching myself and trying to think, okay, what was I thinking here? Oh boy. So yeah, trying to, you know, figure out where intersections are going and all that kind of fun stuff. Remember, I kind of put that one in pretty easily, and then I try to fit other ones around it, and like, no, that doesn't really work. That's a little too close to the main road, so we put another one further back. And I'm like, okay, that one's better, but okay. Works. I'm gonna then I draw some other roads out, and that one does some stuff with the grid, so I delete it. Yeah, the road back behind the cemetery, and then I put, yeah, that one back in right there, which results in a still weird block thing there. And if I remember right, I go back and I delete all that and try to make them like regular grid blocks rather than kind of weird grid blocks. Yep, here I'm going in and trying to fix it, and I remember I do actually fix it, so. Oh, this was brilliant on my part, apparently. Oh boy. Okay, so we lay out most of the road. I delete that. I actually center that where it's supposed to go, and then... Ah! Interesting. I'm calling my own inner thoughts interesting. What is wrong with me right now? Okay, so that block's done. That little bit, oh, okay, still decided that was not necessary, so okay, now it's on the other side, but apparently that one doesn't matter so much, I guess. And we reverse that road. We have roads going opposite directions, kind of, you know, keep the whole one-way thing going, and I think this is the last block I put in. And yeah, I delete that, and just kind of drag it up to the point where it should be. Yeah. So that way we can get kind of another full block there. I'm trying to, you know, if I remember right, also limit the amount of connectors I have going across. Apparently both of them are going away from that giant office area into the area I'm working on now, which might be debatable. We might need at least one going the other direction somewhere, but this road up towards the top is really bugging me right now, because I know that's not supposed to be that way. So I end up doing something over here, I think connecting into that main road from the opposite direction, because I'm like, oh right, you need that to go the other way, and yes, that kind of goes in there, and then I'm explaining, hey, this road kind of, you know, and then that one doesn't really be like that, because, hey, those ones are merging in, this one's turning out, so... And then I just draw parallel roads here. And if I remember right, this last one was the interesting one, because we have the other intersection literally right there. And I'm like, well, this one's going in, the other one's going in here, so it's kind of... a lot of traffic's going in, not so much out, which is fine at that intersection. And if I remember right, the road, that one, I just kind of draw a road straight down to, yep, connect through to the main road up there. And all those get reversed, so that way we kind of have a little bit of a block kind of traffic flow going through here, and actually, it's not a good spot to make, no, because we want the connection to go other direction. Oh gosh, no. Why am I trying to figure this out on camera? And then I realize, oh, I need water, because apparently, no, that's sewage. If I remember right, those two little dips towards the center here. Yes, that's where I'm gonna put them. Not right there, over there, and then I connect them both in. Two different pipes, because, you know, why not? And when I pause, they eventually get water. Just, you know, because water's important. And yeah, so we're kind of looking at the water tables for a little bit here, and then right after this I start on the zoning. Now the zoning in this area was kind of simple. I did the offices along the main roads, all of the main roads, and around the edge towards the highway, and along the train tracks. So here I'm doing that, and you know, missing little squares here and there, because reasons. Train tracks, I think those ones I get rid of, yeah, those little bits there, and those turn into residential instead. Over here I kind of do the same thing. That one little bit gets demolished for residential, and then here along the edge road here, we kind of do normal. I delete the power line here, if I remember right, because I'm like, well, we're going to get power back to this area anyways, so I do that so that way I can get the zones in, and then then I just decide to define the few more office areas here, and, you know, just kind of some smaller stuff, and then if I remember right, the rest, yeah, that one. There were a few blocks that kind of got the all, oh yeah, those first blocks there are all offices, and then the rest of this, if I remember right, all gets zoned to residential, so that way, because we had the residential demand at this point, and yeah. And then I miss a few squares there. Okay, those just got filled. filled in, and of course the first building grows right there. Alright, so... what did I do then? Oh yeah, I demolished the rest of that power line, I think, and... No, just looking around here, explaining something about how I don't like the transition between the high-rises and the, single-family homes and that kind of stuff, and then I'm back over here looking at, hey, the stuff's growing. Talking about, hey, we're gonna want the hospital in here and all that kind of stuff. Looking for a good spot for the hospital. Like, if I remember right, I do this for a while. I'm like, I want to put it here along the main road, but there's not enough room on the main road. Then I'm like, okay, this spot over here, when I draw the roads out, that's going to fit perfectly on a single block, so that's probably a good spot to put it. But I can't afford it now, because I don't have the money for it, so I just ignore it for now, because, you know, what use is it going to do me now? I'm just like, okay, this can fit on basically any block. We'll just put it in when we have the money for it. Do the same thing with the large fire station and police station. I think I was trying to figure out where coverage areas were at this point, but I don't remember. And then, oh yeah, we talked about the prison too. Because yeah, we have had the prison locked for a while, and apparently we need jail cells. Because that's a thing. Okay, so I got enough money for the fire station. I'm trying to figure out a spot for it. That area has fire coverage, so we just need to cover the downtown area. And where do I plop it? Yeah, right there next to the overpass. On that side, I demolished the small one and then realized, oh god, that area down towards the bottom doesn't have any fire coverage. I'm like, whoops. So we're gonna need a small one back there at some point, but I can't afford it now because I just put the large one in and demolished this one. Like a bonehead, you know, how these things go. And then, okay, these power lines are no longer necessary, and let's just, you know, kind of sell that all to high-density residential stuff, because we can. And I'm stopping to do something. Oh yeah, I'm talking about the rail line. Yeah, I'm like, you know, it actually is kind of a cool feature going through the middle of a downtown. And oh yeah, look for an area that we could maybe put a train station in downtown somewhere. I think if I remember right, I talk about putting it kind of parallel. And then I also end up explaining, I'm like, okay, here's kind of where I want some, like, industrial zones. I want one kind of over here on the other side of the river from downtown along the rail line. I have the one over here already, which I can, if I buy the one tile up here towards the top of the Chestnut District, I can always have a nice little rail connection that goes up there, and you have a station somewhere in the middle there for cargo to get out, and lots of little ideas like that are getting talked about right now. Not really anything that's actually doing anything, and while we're waiting for the city to actually develop, and well, me just again talking about the rail line through downtown for some reason. And what am I doing here? I decide to pay a loan back. I suppose that's always a good idea, to pay your loans back. Still have the other one, but one of them's paid back now. And then I'm like, okay, let's, decide where we want things over here in these other areas that we haven't figured out yet. And I only do one of the two, so I think first I plan out where I want the new industrial area, which comes out with a very similar name to another district I already have defined over there, so I end up, I think, calling this one just, Industrial Park for now, because that's what it's going to be, is an industrial park, and I wasn't being very creative with names, so I love how I try to make these, straight lines with all the different, areas, okay, this straight line and this straight line are the edges for this area, and this straight line and this straight line do this edge, and the only areas where I'm going to do something different is going to be where we have water, because it's awesome. I think this one wasn't so straight. Yeah, that one was kind of a curve area, which was kind of cool. I actually did something different. Although it also means that the area I was saying was all the industrial areas doesn't actually contain the garbage services, which is kind of funny. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, and then let's clean up the area along the coast, because I can. And I'm talking about something, I think I was talking, hey, Green Park, when we buy these other tiles, we're gonna that area is gonna take it up a lot more. Say, there'll be kind of a new district over there at some point. And if we end up buying this tile down here, that'll all be the Hamilton Park. And then I expand the waterfront district over here and stop, because, why do we actually need to define everything right now? Especially when these areas, I don't even know what I want to do with them yet. That one there, the waterfront district, that's a pretty sure one. I want that to kind of be my resort area. And, have all the, resort type stuff and all the leisure, and yeah, so end up calling this the industrial park, and then realize, hey, I forgot an S. So now it's the industrial park. Okay, and what do I do from here? Oh, yes, if I remember right, then I go back and look again, and I'm like, okay, I can afford the services now. I already got the fire one in earlier, so now I'm going to do the police. And they, if I remember right, I looked for quite a while here. I'm like, oh, this area right there looks really good, but I want it right up against the street, and it won't let me do it. And then I'm like, okay, maybe over here, but I'm like, why is that one street right next to it not getting coverage? That bugs me like crazy, and I'm like, okay, I can't put that there, but I don't want to put it on this street either, and then I'm like, okay, that's where the fire station is. I could put it next to the fire station, but that would kind of have the same area of coverage, which means that back area doesn't really get covered. And when do I actually place it? I think I end up placing it over here. Yeah, right there is where it ends up getting placed. And then I demolish that one, and zone that for offices. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this entire area is covered for stuff, so... Oh, and I don't want stuff the river, so I dezone that. And yeah, I think last thing I do here is because I noticed the one road is kind of... Oh, after I... No, I still can't afford the hospital. Oh, I remember, I want to put the hospital on the corner here, but again, it's not really a corner because they don't intersect at the right angle, so I think I end up doing some more demolishing here. If I remember right, I demolished this road between and reconfigure it a little bit. And kind of go straight for a few blocks rather than kind of just curving straight up there and then. Just a little bit more of a curve thing. Yeah, like that. And traffic reconfigures itself, and then I start talking about, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? We have a lot of traffic trying to get off here. And lots of traffic over here, too. Kinda, you know, causing a lot of backup. I get my mission for the big city, so I've unlocked a few new things, the crematorium mainly, but anyways, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!